Namaste. Welcome back to my channel. Let us discuss today how can one become a really influential speaker of English. Hi. So 12 years ago, when I started being an educator in the Delhi University, I was, doing this course. I was facilitating, teaching this course of English language proficiency, wherein students from all the different courses across Delhi University used to come and learn how to speak, write, and listen and read in English efficiently. Like proficiency was the focus. I remember that course turned out to be a success, and the students really loved the way I, went across with all the activities, because it was a communicative language-based technique that we were using there. But it made me question. I took the course for 2 years, but it made me question a basic fact like, why aren't people in India so eager into speaking English, or perhaps why aren't we so proficient in speaking in English? My background being that my mother is a professor in English, my father is a lawyer, so both of them have been in speaking profession, and I've been in an English medium, a convent school, doing masters in English and all. So definitely it was not difficult for me to speak in this language. However, my entire point on which I was pondering at the moment was, why aren't people in India so proficient in English? Which took me towards, becoming a school teacher. And for around 10 years, I've been into schools, and I've looked into the education system, what happens. And it initially started from 11th and 12th. Then I realized, no, I think the problem is in 9th and 10th. So when I went deeper into 9th and 10th, I realized, no, there is some problematic situations in probably the middle school. Let me go and teach in the middle school. And finally, after teaching in the middle school, I realized that the problem, entails of a number of things coming together. Okay. The problem cannot be solved simply by putting your child into an English medium school. The teacher may be very good, but there are loopholes in the education system, and there are also loopholes in the parenting. Frankly, if you ever think about it, there is no course for parenting, and anyone, literally anyone, can become a parent. So as a teacher, as an ex-teacher, because I've been a teacher for 10 years, and if you count the university years, 12 years, I've literally seen children coming from all kinds of background. When we say broken families, we believe something like, divorced families or things like that. But broken families are those families also wherein the divorce has not happened, but children are living in pain. Okay, they are watching all the trauma right in front of them. And at that point of time, we expect these students to, do well, across subjects. That's not justifiable at all. So not being capable to express is a far bigger thing than what we think that, And I've seen people literally having inferiority complex. And I sometimes feel like saying, no, you have had a lot of more problems in your life that have contributed to your inexpression, lack of expression. So the problem of not being capable of being a great speaker, that too in English, delves deeper down into psychological issues, into parental issues, into family issues, into the school issues. There are, situations in the school as well. So in this scenario, what can we do? Yeah. So let's dive into it now directly, how to become an influential speaker of English. Understanding the foundation. As far as I can see, there are 3 major problems, that are stopping you from becoming an influential English speaker. First one, and the most prominent one, is fear, right? Public speaking itself has been, ranked as the second biggest fear in the world. Yeah. So fear can be, one of the most prominent features. Second problem can be content knowledge. Okay. You may not have the right content to share. That can stop you from being an influential speaker. And the third problem could be that, you don't feel very confident about the language English, right? So understanding the blocks, we can one by one, let go or solve each of them. So, let us start with, what I talked about in the first place. There are foundational issues. So foundational issues, when you talk about fear, okay, where does the fear come from? The fear comes from the fact of feeling inadequate in that situation. When you actually have a lot of fear, you feel inadequate. You feel that if I'm going to stand there and speak in front of people, I'll either make a blunder, I'll make a fool of myself, and, people are going to judge me all throughout. Maybe they'll laugh at me. All those kind of fears surround you. So, getting deep down into it, there are 2-3 ways of, overcoming fear. Yeah, because that is the first thing that you need to solve even before you get into anything else. So how to solve fear? One way to solve fear is to actually work on your throat chakra. I'm sure no one is talking about throat chakra, I've been across to mentors, and I've been across, I've taken trainings here and there, but no one talks about throat chakra. Till now, I have not found, anyone talking about it. Throat chakra, one of the chakras, I don't know if you know about the chakras. There are 114 chakras in our body, and these chakras are the, these are energy points that connect you to divine energies. We are all a part of the divine, right? They connect you to the divine energies, and the throat chakra is the one that is responsible for your voice. And I'm talking about voice, I'm not talking about public speaking right now. The entire ability to be able to talk to a single person, or to be able to talk to 3 people, and also to be able to talk to 1,000 people in front of you. It all comes from whether you have a voice or not. To be able to go and propose a girl, or confess your emotions to a boy, to be able to go and ask for a promotion, from your boss. It all comes from your voice, your throat chakra. And I've worked on my throat chakra, that's why I'm talking about it. So one way of working on your throat chakra is to actually use the chakra beej mantra meditation, hung. Hung is the, and while you are doing that, you're supposed to be sitting in a meditational position, and you're supposed to be chanting hung at least 9 times, okay? But I would rather suggest that you go on for all the 7 chakra beej mantra meditation. They're available all across Google, across YouTube. In fact, there is one video on my channel as well. And there are other ways of, solving your throat chakra issues. I'm sure you can go and Google search and find out about them. One even simpler technique of working on your throat chakra is to, chant these 2 mantras, one after the other. Om Mani Padmeham and Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. These are 2 Buddhist mantras which gave me results in 2 weeks. I went and talked to my boss 3 years ago regarding my promotion, and the boss said no. I was devastated at the moment. But I was thankful that I finally could speak, because I was doing a lot of work and I was not being given any promotion. And thanks to the fact that he did not give me promotion, because otherwise I would not have been making this video. I would have been caught into the worldly affair for a very long time. So whatever happens for the reason. So you must work on your throat chakra. That's the first and foremost thing. Once you work on the throat chakra, maybe you will not require the leftover video, right? Maybe you require it to be acceptable worldly. Yeah. What are the techniques and, traits that people like from an English speaker? So first, please go and work on that. Okay. The second thing that you need to realize is that you need to change your attitude while you're speaking. Like today, if early in the morning I'm sitting here, of course, at whatever time you may see, I'm making it early in the morning. If today I'm sitting in front of the, the mobile phone, and my kids are, sleeping, and I'm making a video immediately after my meditation, there is a reason why I'm doing that. There is a reason, because I really want to be of help to people. When I went to the school the first time, and frankly speaking, after teaching in the university, going to the school was not so easy, because teaching in the university is frankly a more interesting business than teaching in the school, because in school you have also to teach grammar and stuff like that, and be on, all kinds of duties. So when I went there and I saw these really tall boys, I was scared. Yeah, because I've not been in a co-ed, I was anyway scared to look at the boys, like, have I to teach these boys? And then there came a situation that some of these boys literally had problems. They had problems, or they just wanted to, create an impression of, having a problem, whatever it may be. But when I helped them through, I felt that, oh my God, I have a purpose. I can do some real work. I can do some good work that can be of service to other people. Change your attitude. Get your attitude into the helping attitude. Once you change your attitude, the entire scenario changes. Truly, the entire scenario changes and you stop feeling nervousness at all. Yeah, maybe if you're standing on an international stage, yeah, I can tell you that when there are thousands of people sitting in front of you, you may feel that kind of butterflies in your stomach, but there are techniques for that as well, how to solve that. So the second thing is, you have to change your attitude. The third thing that you can do to solve your fear right at the moment is smile. I'm sure some people are thinking, oh, she's going crazy. No, I'm not going crazy. I'm telling you, this is a psychological technique. It's also scientifically proven. When you spread your lips, the stress is taken away, the tension is taken away. Okay, so take a deep breath, then smile right before you are supposed to be on the stage or talking to people. When you do that, your entire the entire flow of your speech changes. So that is how you can counteract fear, which is the biggest obstacle which is stopping you from going out there and being in front of people. Okay, the second thing that we were talking about is lack of content knowledge. Now, I don't think that it's a we should not even be talking about this, because if there's a lack of content knowledge, what should you be doing? You should be filling in yourself with content, right? You should be filling yourself with content, which also says at the same time that content should be according to the level of your audience. Okay, and at this point of time, I would like to stop the content bit, and get into the audience bit. We'll come back to content. Think of an audience. The kind of activities that I used to do with my students was only a few months ago. I would first get them to write one story that they're going to narrate in front of people who are like 60-year-old, 70-year-old. Okay, the same story. After they have read it out in the class, I would ask them to change it and make it for a 7-year-old, an 8-year-old. I would say that I'm going to take you to class 2 or class 1. How would you narrate the same story? The entire vocabulary changes, the entire way of speaking changes, right? When you talk to older people, when you talk to intellectual people, when you talk to people who are interested in sports, and when you talk to people who are like really young kindergarten kids or class 1 or 2 kids, your entire way of speaking changes. So audience really matters in terms of vocabulary, in terms of the way you are speaking, in terms of how fast or slow you are speaking. I remember in one of the schools, in the very first week when I asked for feedback and I said that I really want to know, because I really want to be a helpful teacher. I really want to be a teacher of, who is being understood by the students. The students, there were two feedbacks which were given to me. They said that, they really loved me, but they found my vocabulary difficult and they also found me very fast. So I had to calm down, I had to slow down my pace, and I had to go down on the, use of technical jargon and stuff like that. So I had to come down to simplistic vocabulary. And I would always suggest that, when you do not know your audience very well, try not to use very difficult words, because I think I've seen many people using very difficult words and thinking, oh my God, I'm making a great impression. You're not making a great impression. I'm sorry if I don't understand what you're speaking. I'm not going to have a great impression. I will not even understand you, far from having any kind of impression. So try to keep your vocabulary simplistic. But I'm not trying to say that have a simplistic vocabulary otherwise also. No, you need to have, your library of vocabulary should be rich. But when you use it, do not be a spendthrift. Do not use it like, an extravagant person. Be mindful of whether people are understanding you or not. So, that was about the audience bit. Coming back to content. Now, what is the topic that you've chosen, or what is the topic that has been given to you? You will have to balance it between who is the audience and how much do you know. If it is in your choice, let's say if you can choose the topic, always choose the topic which you have a mastery on. Don't choose a topic which you think is like so trending, but you have no knowledge on that. In a national level, it was kind of, I would not mention the stage. I was called only 5-6 months ago. I was called somewhere to speak on a national level, and they said that we'll be really happy to have you there. However, they gave me topics related to robotics. I said, no, I can speak about, I can talk about how to narrate, or spirituality and stuff like that. All those things which are my domain. I cannot talk about robotics. They said, we are going to give you all the content. Does not matter at all. Because I know practically as a speaker that I am not God. I mean, I am God. I'm a part of God. But then I have been given certain attributes to perform as a human being. And I cannot touch all the attributes on the planet and, be a great speaker. So please choose a topic, the content of which you are like really already a master of. Okay. You should have a good content knowledge. And, when it comes up to being an influential English speaker, I would also add into the content bit only. You should never mug up the content. Like never mug up word by word of the speech. Of course, I always welcome my students to, I've always told my students, you must have a speech and please go according to the speech. Like practice it. Read it 10 times and then practice. But do not learn word by word. Yeah, I have learned a lot of Shakespearean speeches word by word if you ask me, and I can always quote Shakespeare. But that is Shakespearean speech. And that is a quotation. That's not a speech. Like when I'm going to speak myself, I'm going to be Arunima. I will not be Shakespeare. So the fact when you, and I've seen I've seen in some schools there are teachers, because one of these schools I have served, wherein I went and I saw the teacher, she was handling the debate and then it was transferred to me. So her technique was like, she would write all the speeches for children and the children would just mug it up and speak in a very effective manner. But that very effective manner is totally mechanical. That is not building up the children at all. Okay, that's not going to give the child the real, confidence to be a good speaker in future. A good speaker is one who's really, researches on the topic and speaks it the way he or she wants to speak. There was one person who asked me that, can you just teach me how to speak like you? You cannot speak like me. You should not speak like me because this is my style and I cannot copy anyone else. Consequently, you should also not be copying me. Please do not become a copy. Be original. So the fact that, when I talk about content, I would also say never mug up the speech. How would you practice? The first practice starts from the fact, if you have to give a 3-minute speech which requires a 4-page of writing, please write 20 pages, then come down to 4 pages. When you come down to those 4 pages, you already have the knowledge of the rest of the, 16 pages. And practice in front of mirror, which, in my generation, we were practicing in front of mirror. Now your generation, like the present generation, we have the mobile phone. If I do not upload this video, this is like a practice only. I can use the recorder and I can record any content and I can just listen to my voice. I would suggest that, when you record in a recorder, listen to your voice much later. Like maybe the next day, maybe at least 12 hours later when you are in a different mood, and constructively criticize yourself. Constructively, please, okay? Criticize yourself. Which are the words, what kind of pronunciations do you have? Have you gone overboard, like explained a certain topic too much than it was required? Or have you not explained a topic properly? Have you given examples when required? So those kind of constructive criticism can follow in the practice. Anyone who runs away from the practice and thinks that I'm going to give you a pill today in this particular video, no, that's not possible. So hard work is the key, but hard work in the right direction. Okay, the direction is the side and you're running that way, you are not going to reach the destination. So practice is the key, right? Practice in the right way is the key. And there are so many ways, frankly, today present in front of people for practicing in the best possible manner. And there are many more points. In fact, 50% or maybe more of the content of what I wanted to talk is left. But I do see that the video is running long. So I'm going to make a part 2 and it will be releasing tomorrow itself. Please do wait for it. And in the meanwhile, I would request you, please like the video, please subscribe to my channel, and if you find value in it, please do share it with others. That would really help me reaching more people, because that is entire the idea behind making a YouTube video every day. Thank you so much. See you tomorrow. Signing off, Arunima.